Hey, Miles.
Sir.
How are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I got enough trouble as it is. His intelligence all.
Okay, I'll call the budget board together. We'll start with the assessor for roll call.
Larry Stein here.
Miles Davidson, President.
Butch Freeman here.
Brian Mon,
Joe Blau for Carrie Blunt.
Marissa Treat.
Rick Warren.
Tommy Johnson, third.
Joe, you want to lead us in the pledge? Thank you, Joe. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of July 3rd?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any individual consideration on the consent docket? If not,
Motion.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Micah?
Good morning.
Morning.
Let's see.
Do we need to go back on item 9 of the consent?
There
Okay.
was one attachment that had an update on the consent.
All right. First, let's do that. I apologize. I was thinking it was in this part of it and it's back in the consent docket. Item 9. Is there a motion to reopen?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Is your microphone on?
Yes, it is.
Great.
You.
This is appropriation from the sheriff service fee fund 1160, not to exceed $444,869.19. To appropriate for miscellaneous receipts for the month of June.
So what are we looking at it for?
There's some corrections here.
It's just in the attachment on the consent item. The bottom part didn't match the top part, but the language on the agenda is correct.
So we just need to move to accept this document instead of the one that was attached.
Yeah, for
Is there
that.
a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then now is there a motion to approve item 9 as amended with the new attachment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, go ahead with your report.
Very good. Waiting for the screen. All right, this is our monthly financial report. We start with our general fund budget. This is the final one for year 22-23. We ended with $17,000 in reserve. We had budgeted 2.4 million, so that is definitely lower, and we're gonna, that rolls over to next year, so that will be included in the numbers coming out for the supplement. The next page is going to be your general fund compared for June for this year to last year. We had 10.8 million more than last year in revenues, which is a 10% increase as budgeted, and then right along. And then our expenses were 6.7 higher than last year, which was about a 6.7%, but that's right in line with what we budgeted for this year, for 22-23. Our ending cash balance is about 1.2 million lower than it was last year. We're ending with 17,585.77 in general fund. Then we go over to employee benefits, you might have to receive the updated attachment. I forgot to update one formula, so the ending balance from last year would have been 777,203 in the middle of that page, which was attached incorrectly. And we also, in employee benefits, we had an increase of transfers during the year, as we are well aware, but we ended the year with 753,292 as the balance. Then the next page is the medical and prescription paid claims as of July 19th. This is, of course, not really a lot of information yet. Good news, the first CVS medical claim that came in after John made after the county changed the 65 and up retirees is considerably lower, and hopefully that will be the trend for this upcoming year. And then the last page I have is the capital projects. And we're finishing out the year with a capital project as needed of 52,241 and unallocated funds of 199,000 for projects as needed. So that's all I have. If there's any questions.
Do we need to make a motion for that one document? Is that your recommendation?
Sure, yes. It's the page 11 on your monthly report that was attached to the agenda.
You have it. Yes. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, is there a motion to receive a report?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Cody?
Good morning. BET met for the first time this fiscal year. We have created the beginning watch list. Currently in the reserve balance, we've got a little over $1 million, $1,040,002. We added 2 items to the watch list this month. One for the courthouse security improvements. If you recall, we had some discussions about the card reader access to judicial chambers at the end of last fiscal year. This is an item that we put on here, so we're tracking that ahead of the September supplement. We've got $500,000 on there right now as a potential cost for that. Second item that we added was for the self-insurance fund. This is actually an item that is on your agenda today. I believe it's the next item number 32. And we have a recommendation of funding that at $350,000. That is all I have for an update. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I think the court clerk's got something that you're wanting to put on there, right?
Right. As far as the remodel, the ARPA, it's not a remodel, it's actually a social distancing for the 4th floor. They're moving the DA over to the 5th floor so that we can take the 5th floor. That's the purpose of that move for social distancing. And we have some money on there that we'd like to put on the watch list.
Well, in the court reporters.
In the court reporters, yes. I apologize if you're right. We're going to be getting 2 new courtrooms, and we're going to need funding for courtrooms and for the court reporters, and possibly even for 2 more staff members.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any other questions of Cody? Is there a motion to receive his report?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, item 32 was brought to us this month by the district attorney's office. They're requesting $350,000. Board of County Commissioners has had an agenda item fairly recently related to some litigation that we are a named party. We were needing $350,000 to pay for expert witnesses in those cases. We've already poured through the $230,000 that was set aside in self-insurance to pay for expert witnesses for this fiscal year. This is an additional amount that the district attorney's office has indicated that they need to pay for expert witnesses in some cases that the Board of County Commissioners is named. This is a recommendation to transfer money from general fund reserve to self-insurance so that the district attorney's office, who's under some timeline restraints here, they've got to respond to some stuff and get moving on defending the county. So they were needing us to move on this as quickly as possible.
Move approval.
I have a couple questions, couple quick questions. Last year, they spent something in the neighborhood of, let me see if I have it here, of over $2 million that we gave them for insurance and for legal fees. And they actually, in July 10th, they canceled that. So they still have in their budget that money,
Rick, excuse me, who's the they?
the trust.
Oh, the jail trust.
The jail trust, I'm sorry, that people were talking about. And then we also give them in their budget, we give them for fees this year, $768,000. Now they have switched, and I think a very wise decision, to using our DA, which is a $250,000 fee. So I'm saying, yes, we should help them, but shouldn't they put their money in first? Shouldn't they use what we've given them for the services they need, legal services, and utilize that money first before we go and take, we only have $1 million in reserve. I understand September supplement's coming, but
Commissioner, did you want to say something? No.
Is there somebody that can address that question, Cody? I don't know that
I-
you
I-
did
yeah,
the trust
are in a
speak at the
position to do
BET?
so.
Did they
No,
come to you
no,
and
the
speak?
trust, because this is related to expenses that the county has, as well as the trust. Now, who's going to pay it? I get,
Well, I
I get that
understand
question.
it, but the occurrence happened at the county jail, and that's our county jail, and we're responsible for them. But at the same time, are we going to consider taking it out of their budget later?
I don't know that Cody's in a position to answer
Well,
those
Ms. Etherington's
questions.
trying to
Yeah,
speak
that-
behind
Yeah,
you,
I
And
Cody.
that's why this I think is an absolutely must-have discussion, but I think we can do it in September. What this is right now is to keep the train on the tracks. Now, I agree with you. If we're going to build tracks, we're going to have to find the money somewhere, and I do not disagree with what you're suggesting.
Well, the
But I
1st of
still
July,
think-
we gave them 768,000. I
I
realize that's
understand.
spread out over 12 months, but do these fees to these witnesses have to be paid tomorrow? Or is it as they?
These are for county experts.
Right, but do they have to be paid immediately, or are we gonna pay them that as they give us their service? In other words, are they gonna get the money within this month?
Mr. Warren, as it relates to when they're going to get paid, I'm sure they won't get paid immediately, but we need the encumbrance to be able to enter into a contract to be able to engage their services.
Could I follow up on a question with that? So if both the county and the jail trust are spending the money on the experts, are we basically, does it look like we're double paying?
That would be
Which I
more
believe that'd be an
an
accurate
appropriate
question.
question for the DA's office as our counsel.
I don't think we'd be double paying. What I think the real question is, are we double budgeting it? And that, again, back to what Mr. Warren said, I do agree with that. But I would rather see personally, I'd rather see all of this worked out in the September supplement.
I understand, but this could be an endless thing. This is just the start of it. And currently, they're budgeted for 400 employees, and they only have 282, so that should give them some extra money there that they could utilize. But as I said, we've given them 700,000 for legal expenses, professional services, and this is and we're only paying our DA 250. And they actually spent last year, they spent somewhere in the neighborhood in legal expenses, insurance, things such as that, which they don't have now and still budgeted for, $2,386,000. I'm all for helping. I'm all for helping CJAC and helping our trust, but I think we better look at it now as well as in September.
But if we look at it now, and help me out on this, Christy, Micah, if we look at it now, the only way you can look at it now is to reopen the budget, isn't it? It's not still open. How's it open? No,
Yeah.
no, the budget. I'm sorry?
She said we have a budget in place approved by the state with the protest period.
Yeah.
So
But
would
we
the
do
jail
have a
trust
in
budget be
place.
the one responsible to pay this, or the county? I mean, I think there's several questions that we have that maybe we can submit to the DA to get a response back, but I do think that there are a lot of really important questions that we all have. We all want to make sure that these costs are covered, but we need to be comfortable with how the monies are being spent and who's responsible for spending the funds.
The way that this item is written, if it's not approved, then we're not gonna have any expert witnesses.
And I think from my perspective, I don't know that I'm saying we shouldn't approve it. I just think there's additional questions and conversations that
absolutely.
absolutely should be answered
I
and should be
absolutely agree.
provided to all of our offices, because there is a lot of confusion as to what the jail trust is responsible for, what the county is responsible for. There's budgets there, but I'm not sure we're all living within the budgets. You know, the insurance, they made a vote last week to cancel. Now who's responsible for paying what? So there's just a lot of questions, and I know I'm new, so I'm probably asking the most, but I think it's important that we are provided the
And
answers.
frankly, the insurance bothers me a lot more than this particular item does today.
Yes, sir.
'Cause I'm not sure of what the story is on that insurance.
Right, and I don't know if the Commissioner Davidson,
The insurance wasn't really good for anything. That was a sales job that initially the trust thought it did a whole lot more. It provided attorneys
We're-
up
we're-
to a certain amount. I mean, this is all gonna be about,
We're
the
being
350
cautioned
and
that we're off
self-funded.
agenda item.
I would like to reiterate, these are not jail trust experts. These are experts to defend the county who is named as a party and has potential liability in litigation. I don't want this to get sidetracked into what the jail trust does with its funding, how it defends its litigation. This is litigation brought against the Board of County Commissioners.
Aaron, see if I can clear this up for him real
That
quick.
cleared, that's
So,
pretty well cleared
in-
up.
And
Thank you.
lawsuits that we're facing time and time again, they name multiple parties, not only the county, but the trust. and
Correct.
Sometimes each individual commissioner, and this is the expert witnesses just
For the
the county.
county,
So
in
this-
order to defend the Board of County Commissioners.
okay, so this specific request has nothing to do, or how much of it is related to the lawsuits with the county detention center?
We are a party along with the criminal justice authority, so I cannot say it has nothing to do with it. But in order to defend the county, these experts will be needed.
Thank you, and I'll provide my questions to you all so you guys can submit back answers to us. Thank you.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Thank you.
opposed? Thank you, Cody. This is an interfund transfer from general fund to employee benefits. It's been approved by the excise board and budget board.
motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Dane or Rich, whoever wants to.
Good morning. This closes out our special revenue fund that was created, I think, in like 2014 for law enforcement access billing that we used to do to the city of Oklahoma City and all the other agencies around the world.
Yep.
So we don't need it anymore.
It's a legacy system that's no longer used.
Yeah, it's a legacy system. We're no longer, charging for it. And
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
thank you.
Okay, we have some transfers with these funds related to ARPA. We have our consultants online for any questions. Jamie, do you want to lead us in discussion, or Danielle? Is there anything you care to
Good
share?
morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Great.
Danielle.
So the first item, number 35, this is just a transfer back of funds for project 10091. This was the Juvenile Bureau's Telemental Health ARPA project. The project has been contracted for, so these funds are just returning back to the main 1415 account because they were unused. And so then they can be allocated to a new project or other project at a later date. So for 35, that is just taking the dollars back to 1415.
Motion.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 36.
Awesome. So for number 36, this is regarding the DA's transition over to ICB and the build out of ICB for social distancing needs. So currently there was a funding amount of $9,860,000 that was in project code 10033 that was originally coded as the court clerk fourth floor remodel. So this $3.5 million is coming directly out of that project. And it will, in effect, reduce the project fourth floor court clerk remodel by the $3,500,000 amount. And so the reason we need this transfer done is because it's coming out of that project. We are not increasing the budget for the socially distancing remodel needs and space needs. It is remaining within the 9.8 that was originally allocated. It's just being broken up into two projects now so that we can report on them separately, since they are separate projects in their intent, though both for social distancing are for different offices and in different spaces. So this will take that 3.5 million from project 10033 and it would allocate it instead to project 10133.
Mr. Court Clerk, do you have any problem with this?
I think that we have to do this, but we're kind of getting the cart before the horse. We have not approved yet. We have approved in a meeting, but we still need the budget board and the commissioners to approve the move for the court clerk. The reason they're moving is for social distancing. Our floor where our people are close, as you know, and so we're going to move to the 5th floor, which will give us the room to spread our people out maybe 6 foot instead of the 2.5 foot we have now. So, yes, I'm all for it.
Okay, so this particular item, you do support this?
I do support it.
I move the item.
Second.
I would just like to make a quick little statement.
Sure.
I appreciate the conversations that I've had in the last 24 hours and et cetera. Thank you for getting on the phone yesterday. I think all of us agree that we want to make sure that we're crossing our T's, dotting our I's, making sure that we're in compliance. And so as we move forward, and I know this is just moving funds from one bucket to another bucket, I understand that it seems to be simple, but this is incredibly important. These are tax dollars that we are spending. So I think it would be nice for future budget board meetings if we can have some more pre-conversations. The PowerPoints you guys sent me last night were great, but please don't expect that those of us that are not commissioners that we've seen everything or we've read everything. I think it's appropriate to be able to spend some time with the rest of us to be able to be fully knowledgeable before we take these very important votes. That's all I have, sir.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any citizens wishing to speak? Any board comments, starting with the assessor?
Nope.
Nothing.
I would like to clarify for everyone that no, the assessor is not the official person that the DA is wanting to pay for. So no, it's not him.
Okay.
Done.
I did not understand what you just said.
No one does.
I do appreciate it. Thank you. No other comments.
No comment.
Any new business? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.